The soul carries memories that the heart refuses to erase, and within me lives a poem, written not with ink but with longing, not with pen but with the tears of nights spent remembering you. The desert winds whisper your name to me when I ride beneath the fading sun, and every gallop of my horse feels like the rhythm of your heartbeat, reminding me that I cannot forget you no matter how the seasons try to heal what time itself cannot. I have written verses for kings, for warriors, for victories that shaped my land, yet none of them compare to the poem I write silently for you. It is carved in the stars above Dubai, carried by the tides of the sea, and engraved in the rhythm of my breath. My love for you has become an eternal stanza that no poet before me has dared to write, for it is a confession too deep, too raw, too eternal to be silenced. Every time I close my eyes, I see your face woven into the threads of my dreams. I hear your laughter in the silence of my chambers, and I feel the softness of your presence in the stillness of the night. They say a prince should not dwell on what he cannot possess, yet how does a man command his heart to forget when forgetting you is as impossible as stopping the sunrise? You became my poem the moment we met, when your eyes spoke a language I had never heard but instantly understood. There was no crown upon your head, no jewels adorning your hands, yet you carried a majesty that humbled me, a grace that outshone every royal tradition I was born into. And I, a man accustomed to conquering challenges, found myself conquered by love. The court expects silence, the world expects restraint, but a poet cannot silence the verses that demand to be written. My love, my poem, my truth, I write for you, not for the world's applause but for the echo of your soul to know that it was always remembered, always cherished, always held close in the palace of my heart. I walk among my people with pride, yet within me, I walk with a shadow, your shadow. Every smile I offer them is colored by the thought of you. Every word I speak hides the silence of your absence. I am celebrated as a leader, yet in the quiet corners of my being, I am simply a man who misses the one he cannot forget. My pen trembles when I write your name, for it is not just ink that falls, it is pieces of my soul. I weave metaphors of the desert roses that bloom despite the heat, of falcons that soar higher than the skies dare allow, of oceans that kiss the shores endlessly, because each one is a mirror of what I feel for you. Endless, tireless, eternal. Some say the heart heals, that wounds fade, but the truth is, some loves are not meant to heal. They are meant to stay, to remind us of what it means to be alive, to feel the fire that only comes once in a lifetime. You are my unhealed wound, my beautiful scar, my sweetest pain, and I carry it proudly as proof that I once loved beyond reason. In my solitude, I write poems I never publish, verses I never perform, because they are not meant for anyone's eyes but yours. They remain in hidden journals, sealed within golden covers, as though keeping them sacred will preserve the purity of what we shared. If eternity were kind, it would deliver these words to you across the winds, carrying my voice where my hands cannot reach. The falcon that soars above my head knows my secret, for I have whispered your name to it in flights over the Arabian dunes. The waves of Jumeirah know my truth, for I have watched them crash endlessly, wondering if your heart ever feels the same tide of remembrance. My land holds pieces of my poem for you, and wherever I walk, the earth itself carries the weight of my longing. You are not forgotten, not erased, not lost. You live in every poem I write, in every silence I endure, in every glance I steal at the stars. I cannot move on, for love like this is not something a man moves away from. It is something he kneels before, prays for, and honors until his last breath. Even if the world never knows your name, even if history never writes of you, my poem will outlive the dust of centuries. For true love does not need recognition, it simply needs to exist. And in my existence, you remain the one I cannot forget. Tonight, as the moonlight drapes over my city, I take my pen once more. The palace is asleep, the guards are silent, and the world expects nothing of me but rest. Yet I write, because to stop writing of you would be to deny the beating of my own heart. My love, you are the unfinished poem I will write for eternity, a verse that has no ending, a story that no silence can destroy. And so, I leave this poem not as closure but as confession. I loved you, I love you, I will always love you. No crown, no throne, no title will ever erase the truth of who you are to me. You are my poem, my muse, the one I can't forget, the one I will carry with me long after the ink dries and the world turns to dust. The night is long, yet every moment of its silence is filled with your voice. I walk through the gardens of the palace, hearing the fountains whisper melodies that sound like your laughter, and every petal that falls reminds me of the softness of your touch. My heart becomes a canvas where the moonlight paints your memory, and I wonder if you too look at the stars and think of me, even for a fleeting second. I often question destiny, asking why it would let me meet you if it had no plan to let me keep you. Was it to teach me the meaning of love? Was it to show me that some dreams are too precious to be possessed, only cherished from afar? I do not regret knowing you, for regret belongs to those who never truly loved. I only regret that fate wrote our story in ink that fades before the final chapter could be read. Yet even in this sorrow, I find beauty. For you have taught me that love is not about possession, it is about reverence. It is about carrying someone's presence in the silence of your soul, about feeling alive because they exist, even if they are not by your side. You are the unseen poem in every breath I take, the unspoken word between my lips, the eternal verse I whisper only to the night. I am a poet, yes, but no words of mine can fully capture the magnitude of you. Every stanza feels incomplete, every rhyme feels shallow compared to the depth of your being. I write, then tear the page, for nothing satisfies the yearning to capture your essence. Perhaps that is the true proof of love, that no poetry is ever enough, no song is ever long enough, no prayer is ever strong enough to contain it. Sometimes I ride into the desert, seeking answers in the endless sands. The horizon stretches far, unbroken, just as my longing for you stretches without end. I let the falcon fly ahead of me, and as it soars, I wonder if it carries my whispers to you. There is freedom in that bird's wings, a freedom I envy, for my heart is bound by the chains of your memory.